Okay, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome in. All right, we have a couple things on tap for tonight. Of course, the fun stuff as normal. And as the title says, we're going to be doing some ghost skulls. So, yeah, we got it. We are rocking. Oh, I got to pop this out. Hold on 1 second. We got to pop chat out. There we go. What's up, Jenny? Thinking time. What's happening? How you doing? What's up, Colleen? How are you? Listening to a little Nirvana. There you go. We like Nirvana. All right. So first things on tap, I got to make a little ghost dog. An order came in for it, and got to get it done. Oh, yeah. We got to make a ghosty dog. So much going on, you know. What's up, Dragonfly? How are you? KCH, how are you doing? All right, so we got to do a ghost dog first, and then we'll knock out the rest of it. I don't know if I have any. I do. Good. I got some of these shorty versions. And one there. All right. Need to do the ears. And I have a couple ideas for tonight. Thank you for the floating heart, Colleen. How are you doing anyway? All right, y'all ready for some fun night tonight? I am. I am definitely ready for some fun. All right, so first thing we're going to knock out the ghost dog real quick. Get that guy done. Hi, Cody. How are you? Lost dryer socks. What's happening? Melinda, how are you? All right, so let's get this started. Get the party started. So if anybody asks, we are doing the ghost dog. Oh, crap. Do I have orange? I do. Holy moly. I almost made a huge mistake. Wow. So everybody always asks me why I don't use the filter on the camera. I'm going to show you something here. Everybody see what color that is? There we go. All right, we see that dog or the color? Watch. I'm going to park it in front of the filter. Now what colors it look? See, doesn't it look orange? And that's why I was saying I don't use the filter. It covers all those colors up. I almost added yellow instead of orange on there. Okay, we're going to grab that and one more here. All right. All right, so we're going to do the ghost dog. I got to do the ears first, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, it's yellow, but it looked orange through there. Do I ever work with uranium glass? Nope. Yeah, look at all over the bench. Everything behind me is tons of uranium. Nope, not toxic at all. Actually, that orange and yellow I just had is way more toxic than uranium. All right, we're going to bring it down. Everybody's doing good, I hope. Yeah, everybody's looking good. Gonna have to do it this way. Didn't want to have to mess with a little flame, but we're gonna have to do the micro flame. All right, let's get this thing done. So right now we're making the ears for the ghost dog. I will park them in the kiln and we'll finish the rest of the dog up and get it out of the way. And we'll proceed with some fun stuff tonight. I got a couple things on tap for tonight. And a little bit more. So there we are. Got a couple cool projects maybe on tap for tonight. We'll see. We'll see how time knocks in. Is this similar to doing glass? Yeah, it's very similar. It's just we have a little bit more options than traditional glass blowing. We have way more options than glass blowers. Like the big furnace, we have way more options. There we go. We're going to flatten that out. So we got a little disc flip here. What's up, L to the B? How you doing? So we're going to grip that there, and we're going to pull this into the little doggy ear. So right now we are making the ghost dog. I got to get this order out. It just came in. And so we're going to fill that order, and then we're going to make on some full fun stuff. All right, so we pull this little flat, then we're going to give it the bend that needs to happen. Make sure we give it a little bit of a curvature. Okay, there's ear number 1. And I definitely want to pull this down a little bit. I've been not doing this right last time. Okay, so there's ear number 1 for the ghost dog. We're going to park it in the kiln. And then we're going to do the ear number 2. Then we'll get the rest of it done. This creation's actually kind of cool. The way the body for the dog is made, it is incredible. I have not done an axolotl yet. It is definitely on my agenda. But it is not something I have crossed onto paths with. It is on my radar, though. All right, so we got to get this all bundled up here. There we are. A little bit more. Okay, separate that. Then we're going to flatten, pull it into the next ear, and the rest of it's going to be fun. Every time I do these ears, it feels like I'm not accomplishing a whole lot. Okay, so we got that. Let's pull it down. So we stretch it out, and then we're going to bend, give it the little wispy, flowing ear look here. And there is ear number 2. Make sure I have enough room down here for the attachment. Like that. All right, so there is ear number 2. I actually have done a bear. L to the B, thank you for the double fireworks. You got the fireworks going right off at the ghost dogs. That looks really cool. Thank you, L to the B. All right, so now we are going to make the ghost dog. Okay. Now this one is going to be with the traditional red collar and the pumpkin orange nose. And here we go. You long enough? 1 second here. I want to see if I got a little bit longer version of this. I do. This doesn't feel right. This feels like it. I have 2 different whites up here, 2 different white colors, and this one does not feel the correct color. Yeah, it is not right. Got mixed up with another one. Okay, we're just going to have to do it the hard way. Ready? Let's go. We're going to make the dog first. The head. The dog, of course. All right, so we're going into the doggy. And here we go. So first spot is the head. We're going to grip it up here and start melting in. It's a really odd shape too. Always feels weird making this thing. I always feel like I pulled it too far. And then by the time I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, it was actually the right length. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, let's kick it down a notch. Okay, back up. Trying to get this taper exactly the way I want it. All right, we're close now. All right, so this is for the head of the dog. We got to get it all balanced out now. And then we give it a little bit of a curvature for that big, long nose swoop. Bring it down. And just kind of let gravity do its thing right there. Okay, we're going to detach here. So this is how we're starting off with it. Kind of looks like a white chili pepper. Ghost pepper. That'd be funny, right? Ghost pepper. All right, so we're bringing it in. We're going to add in the orange. This is for the pumpkin nose. I wish I could get this a little more detailed, but not possible at this time. Okay, there's the orange nose. Just get it nice and fused in. So there is the little orange nose. Gonna grip it here. And now I'll be able to work the other section of this back here. We're gonna work this back half. And just blend it all in. Nice and smooth. There we go. Right now I'm trying to match the diameter of the back of the head with the front. All right, there we are. So it's always constantly flowing. We got to kind of be careful with that. All right, let's add in the details. Details matter. Here we go. So next step is we got to flatten it out on the bottom down here for the bottom of the head where the mouth will go. Happy Friday to everybody. Hopefully you are having a fantastic weekend already. All right, so we got that flattened right there. Now we need to make the lower jaw. Just going to set this off to the side temporarily. Yep, that's got a bubble. Bubbles are bad. There we go. And a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, we're going to flatten this out. Put the lower jaw on, the little mouth. Here we go. Smooth that out. You got to seal that up a little. It's not looking right. Little plastic surgery on there. Okay, so we got the mouth. Oop, it drooped. There. So now we got the mouth going on. And the last two steps, we're going to pop the ears on, then the eyeballs, and we'll put this in the kiln and do the body. Okay, let's do ear number one. Okay, got that on. Ear number two. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I like them a little off-center. I don't want them exact. I want one up, one kind of down. All right, there are the ears so far. And now we just put the eyeballs on, which will complete this, the head. And let's make it happen. There we are. So this is the head all ready to go. And we're making the ghost dog down here. And now we just have to do the body. Now this part is a total trip. Okay, this is where it gets to be a lot of fun. How the body is formed is completely different than what you probably imagine. What's up, Mike? How you doing? I know it did look kind of like laser eyes. It's okay though. Here we go. We're going to pop it off. All right, so we're going to build the body right now. Is this thick enough? No, it's a little bit thicker. And let's go. So the body involves a couple different processes. One, we're going to build up a bulk section. It's going to kind of look like a mushroom a little bit. And then after we do that mushroom, we're going to be using needle nose pliers to shape part of it. And we're actually going to be using scissors, glassblowing shears, to cut the body and create the little wispy look to it. So if you've never seen glass that has been manipulated by needle nose pliers and then cut, like physically cut, now's a good time to stick around. Okay, that should be good there. And now we got to build up the bottom section. This is where I said it looks kind of like a mushroom. We got to build a lot of it up. And let's just keep going. I might actually have to consume this whole thing. All right, we're doing good. We're doing fantastic. Yeah, we're going to consume the whole thing. Yeah, most definitely. Just going to use this. And of course, I get an itch on my nose right now. Perfect timing, right? Get an itchy nose just about this point. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. All right, here we go. We're just going to keep going. Yeah, we definitely are going to consume this. This glass that I'm currently using is very expensive. It is $150 a pound for this particular white. Actually, I think it might be $120. Still expensive. I don't remember if it's $120 or $150. Either way, it's expensive. But it is the only white that works really good for the ghost dog. Everything else looks kind of like bleh, garbage. Well, not garbage, but it doesn't look right. I shouldn't say that. I like Star White. All right, so we got that done. We're going to pop this in the water, get that off. And I can scratch my damn nose. All right, so this is the base for the body. First step is we have to come in. We're going to flatten it a little bit. I'm going to pull this back a little so y'all get a view. We have to flatten it. Then we're going to use needle nose pliers. I don't know. It would probably look good out of ghost glass, to be honest. I just don't have a lot of ghost right now for the glass. I got to order it. I had to wait till after the first of the year to order any more glass. I had too many write-offs as it was, so now I need more write-offs so I can order it. All right, so we're going to come over and we're going to flatten. There we go. So we're creating a little smushy. That is a technical term. We are creating the smushy. Hi, Diane. How are you doing? All right, we're going to come through and regular needle nose pliers. You do not need anything super expensive, super exotic. Just needle nose pliers. This is where it gets fun. If you're wanting to hang around and see some awesomeness, now's the time. Awesome sauce is about to happen. Squish, 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 squish. Little heat up there. Squish and squish. I got to tell you, that is a lot of fun. All right, so now we got squishies, okay? I got to figure out where I want to do this, though, here. What is going to make right there? That's going to be the best direction. All right, so first things first, we're going to take this and we're going to cut it in one of these sections, right? I think in that top one right there, straight up and down, that little thingy. Here we go. So we got to get a little more refined flame here. I don't want to melt the whole thing down, just a section. See, I knew that home ec class back in high school would take an effect and be useful. I knew that it would definitely be useful. Now I know how to cut because of home ec. All right, so we just sliced it all the way down the middle. Okay. Then we're going to heat it up, back up. Just keep it warm. We don't have to completely manipulate it right now. So next spot, we're going to take it here and we're going to pull forward. This is going to create one of the legs for the dog. Just going to pull it right there, grab it, And then we just pull it forward. Like that. And then we got a Millennium Falcon. It really looks like it. Every time I do that, I keep saying that same damn joke, but it really does look like the Millennium Falcon. Every time. So now we got to do the other side to match that one. Do a quick manipulation here. We got to do the fire dance. I call this the fire dance, where we kind of have to just bounce around. Just a quick maneuvering back and forth. So now we got 2 sections done. And the last part is the tail. So we're going to have to use a little bit bigger flame here. Yep, that's what I'm making this guy right here. Heat the back end. These two are available, by the way. This one is uranium glass. So it has uranium glass nose and collar. And then this one is purple. So this has a purple collar and nose. This one is uranium. They are available while supplies last, meaning those are the only 2. All right, so we got to grab this here. And then this is going to pull the tail section. Got to be really careful with this. Don't want to go too thin. I don't want to thin this glass out too much. So got to pull it really careful. Like that. And we're all good. Then we just separate here. Got to pull this forward a little bit. I like making this item. It is a lot of fun. I remember the first time I tried it though, which was this year, I was a little nervous about trying to make it. I thought I wouldn't be able to figure it out. But we did it in first try. We got it down. All right, so now we got the body and basically the feet, the legs, the tail, all that stuff going. We're going to add a little red on here for the red collar. The red's going to go pretty transparent. It will come back to red later. But for right now, it's going to go very much transparent, clear. And there we are. Just like that, we got us a little spot for a collar. Flatten it out. So again, that will be super red right there when it cools off. And then we just assemble. Tighten the flame up a little bit. Okay, we're good. Oop. Okay, we're going to detach here. So I just have to park that in the kiln. I got to wait for the collar to get all red, but yeah, there it is. Make sure it'll sit. Yep, we're all good. Got to let it heat back up for a little bit, and then we'll finish that off in just a minute. But that is the ghost dog. Oh, we got some amber purple. All right, give me a minute. We're going to push all this white together right here because I have a reason for it. So we're going to fuse this together. Thinking about doing one of the prototypes for the flowers tonight for the Valentine's push, if you guys want to see it. We might do a Valentine's flower, like a full petal flower. And I'm debating on whether we should do a crushed opal rosebud. So like the rosebud out of crushed opals on the inside. So not any loose petals, but an actual rosebud. This is 32 years this month. 32 beautiful, fantastic years. You're looking for a Fred you could confide in? Oh, go find, there's a guy named Green Trees Glass. Go check out him. He loves talking to you. Yeah, if you're looking for a friend that you could confide in, go to Green Trees Glass. Okay. There we go. All right, so we're going to do a kind of a very unique pattern tonight for this. I'm thinking of doing, so I want to do a petaled flower for like a preview for Valentine's. And then I want to do the rosebud. The rosebud has no petals to it. It is literally a solid piece. And I hand carve the impressions into it. But I was thinking today, we did a little piece and it had crushed opal in it. It might look kind of cool with crushed opal. I'm not sure, but I'd be willing to try it. Your goal for 2026 is to learn glassblowing? I 100% hope you get there. If you get stuck or you get confused about materials or something, feel free to reach out and ask a couple questions. I'm happy to help you get along on the path of that. I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to learning glassblowing. I don't have a lot of time throughout my day, so I can't sit for hours and discuss things, but I would be happy to walk you through at least a few basic things and get you started on the right path. For sure. Because I don't want to see you get the wrong stuff. Ouch. Oh, crap, that hurt. I touched that. It was a little hot. All right, so we got all this right here. This is like little short rods. We need to compress that down into a larger, bulky rod. And then we're going to take amber purple and buzz it across on there. We're going to overcoat it, overlay it. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a secondary and tertiary color. And I'm going to pull it back down into a rod, and I'm hoping that we can get a like a unique color for a flower. So right now I'm just building all this glass up. I'm taking all these short bits and manipulating them together, pushing it in. It's going to create a kind of like a little pill-sized piece of glass. And then we're going to, again, clear coat it with amber purple. And then pull it down into a normal size rod. While that is cooling off, we will do a couple other projects. And which include another ghost skull. I'm hoping to do one more marble that is the ghost skull tonight. Okay, we got to push this together. All right, this is taking a while. I don't have my big flame on, damn it. Hold on one second. I need to manipulate this a little bit. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I don't do unicorns. No horses, no unicorns. So, Valentine's Day, I have a mission this year that I'm going to be making different types of flowers, items for Valentine's. And it's coming up very quickly. But one of the things I want to do is be able to offer the item that I'm making for you to be made on live, like right now, during this time of the night. And if you send me your partner, spouse, whatever's girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, if you send me their name ahead of time and I give you a time slot, we will get on here and we will make that item for your partner on live stream. It'll be recorded via YouTube, and I will give a shout out to their name right before I make it and say this was made specifically for you. So it'll be an item that is made specifically for that person with their name, and yeah, it'll be memorialized in YouTube so you can go back and show it. So that is my agenda for this year. Now, I have limited time slots for that. I'm not going to be able to do, hundreds of those. And the most important part is you got to do it soon so I can get it shipped off. Yeah, it is not very far away. All right, so I gotta fill this little gap in right here. It looks like a bowling pin. And then we're going to clear coat it with, well, not clear coat. We're going to coat it in amber purple. Really? What the hell? That's the problem when you have a size 13 shoe. You try to manipulate foot pedals and gas pedals and clutches, and it gets all over the place. All right, so this is kind of a cool process too to watch. This will be fun. So we're going to detach here. Then we're going to take the color amber purple and we're going to stripe all the way around it. Then we're going to pull it into a normal size rod where I will be able to manipulate it into a flower with petals. And this is going to be an absolutely gorgeous combo. So right here, we're got this going. And let's start coating it up. And here we go. This is going to be, I think, pretty epic. There we go. I need to learn to breathe when I'm doing this. I have this old habit where I start putting the color down and I hold my breath. I forget to breathe. So maybe if I just talk my way through it, I will remember to breathe while doing this. There we go. So what's happening right now? We're coating it. So there's the coating and then there's the white. Now you're going to start to see this get a little darker in just a little bit. No, the glass I'm holding does not get hot. Glass does not transfer heat like metal. It's either that or I'm superhuman. But I think we should go with the fact that it doesn't transfer heat. And we're coming through. It's getting short. Of course, I like answering questions. I'll just use it. And we're getting this done. Get her done. And here we go. And there we go, not breathing again. I swear, habits are hard to break. And one more here. So this color combination is technically called serendipity, I believe. I can't remember the color combination from North Star. I think it's serendipity. I could be wrong. Or Loki's lipstick. I don't remember which one. But it's a cool color combo. All right. So now you can see we had the white right there and we coated it. So there's the white underlay. Then here it is when it has the amber purple over it. We're going to do one more coating on here because I want it double thick. We'll pull it down into a rod. Then we're going to let it sit. While we're doing that, we'll do another project. Oh, look at that. Now you're going to see. Yeah, check this out before I go there. All right, we're going to use the side view. I have this new side view. I really dig it. So there's the side view real quick. With the camera, we can get really close to it. Look at that color combo. So that is going to be the flower color. Can you see all those purples and ambers bouncing through there? So that is going to be the color of all the petals in there. And that's why I'm doing it, because I think that is going to be absolutely 100% outstanding. Sounds like my old drill instructor. Outstanding. Here we go. So we're going to double the thickness on that. Only because when I do pull it down, it'll get too thin and it won't show that color. So a little tiny trick up here for my glass blowers in here. I know I have a few. So when you start striping down all the way around and the colors are blending like that, put a little nubby right there. See that little nobule right there? That is my indicator for when I get all the way around to the other side. Otherwise, it can be possible that you lose track of where you started and you won't have an even coating. But if you have a little nubby there, it tells you when you've reached all the way around. Just a little tiny tip and trick there. Got to grab some more amber purple because I'm running out of. I ran out of room there. I do have more over here though. Might as well use it all up that I can. I have all these little shorts of it. But yeah, that little nubby has saved my butt more than once right there. I don't think I should put nubby and save my butt in the same sentence again, though. Forget I said that. So we're just going all the way around again. Double the thickness. We'll pull this down into a rod. And while this is cooling, we'll make another project. Because I definitely want to make sure this rod cools off before we go any further. And we're pretty close to being done here. I don't have to grab another one. I thought I might have to have another one of these, but I think I can make it. So we're bringing it all the way around. One more little section here. And there we go. So now we're going to blend all that in and make it look really good. Yeah, this is my full-time job. And there we go. So again, we're going to go back to the side view. Hopefully you get a better angle at this again. So we're going to let this cool off a tiny bit, and we're going to shine the light on there. Look at all those colors bouncing through. Oh, you don't want to see my big-ass hand there. And now you're going to start to see all those colors bouncing through there. This will have like 5 different colors running through it. And that is the beauty of amber purple. So I was saying, it's a beautiful color. So that is what we're going to use for the flower. Let's go back to main view. There we are. And then we're going to stretch it out and pull it into a normal sized glass rod so I can manipulate it into a flower eventually. All right, so we got to pull a little bit of a core down here. This starts the taper right there. And then after that, we're going to stretch this thing all the way out. And here we go. Now for this color in particular, we have to run it a little bit oxygen rich, meaning it needs more oxygen than propane for this color to be very reactive. Certain colors like certain gas combinations a little more than others. This one loves oxygen-rich environments. Okay, we're getting there. I'm going to try and get this as even as possible. There we go. That's about as far as I could go. Okay, we're going to pull that off. All right, so we got that one all prepped and ready to go. We're going to manipulate this one a little bit. So we'll turn this into a little mini flower for a hummingbird sculpture. And I'll show you kind of what the color looks like in its effective state here. Ready? We're going to pull this off right here because that's a little garbage. Garbage. So we're going to make a quick hummingbird sculpture. I'm going to try and do it in the next 5 to 7 minutes. We'll try and make a full sculpture in the next 5 to 7 minutes. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to do the whole hummingbird flower in 5 to 7, but we're going to try. I just took up 30 seconds attaching that. Not on a good start. All right, we got to heat this up. We're going to do that same needle nose plier effect. So we're going to push this in a little bit right here, create some white right in the middle. About like that. Pull it apart. All right, so next step, we're going to flatten it all the way out. And then we're going to use some needle nose pliers and effectively turn it into a little mini flower. Then we're going to make a tiny hummingbird, attach the hummingbird to said flower with a little vine, and consider it a done sculpture. While we wait for that to cool off. And here we go. So there, now we got a disc. Like that. Okay, we're going to take that disc. We got ordinary needle nose pliers here. And again, they're just ordinary needle nose pliers. You don't need anything exotic. We're just going to come around and squish all the way. Heat it up a little bit more. So then we just kind of squish it all the way around. Almost starting to get in that clamshell shape like that. Almost like a clam type of flower. Clam flower. No such thing. All right, so now we need to pull it into what I call a flower shape. Actually, what it's starting to look like is a Venus flytrap. Which end do I want to do here? Actually, I'm going to leave that kind of wonky right there. I'm going to pull this end. I'm a big fan of wonky. Okay, so we grip it here. Then we bring it out. I'll try and do it in front of the camera. I don't need to watch this. So now we just pulled it into a flower shape like that. It's upside down right now, but so there's the beginning of the flower shape. We're going to create a little mini vine on the bottom. Just going to leave it clear. Don't need to do anything super organic with it. So we just bring it over, fold. 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 And one more fold. And we bring it out, pull. There. All right, we got that part done. We're going to separate the top portion of the flower. And then we will add in the, we'll make a quick hummingbird and pop it on there. And we got a popping hummingbird flower. So there's the initial flower. Randy, thank you so much for the heart me, the king heart me. All right, we're going to take that and let's just make a little mini hummingbird real quick. Trying to see if I have any cool color. Oh, we'll do the hummingbird out of red. So we'll make red. It's not going to show up right away, but it'll be a reddish color. It's going to take a little bit for it to show up, but it'll look good. It'll have a nice red hummingbird. So let's pull this little bit off here. So this color comes back to red later. It is called a striking color. It does not like to transform till later down the road. You know what? I think I should do it out of the dark red. Let me grab it way over here. I got a bunch of it over here. Not so sure of that. Yeah, we'll use this one. Gonna use this one because we're using a micro bird. All right, let's get this hummingbird done. Just do white body or clear. Don't have to do anything exotic. Okay, so we're going to burn this off, create a minute little bird, mini bird. Let's have another, no, that'll be good. And then after that, I'll let you guys decide if we do the skull in a marble or the flower next. I'll let you all vote on that process. Who would? Thank you for sharing. Okay, so we're going to bring this out. I don't need the bird really big, though, for that flower. Okay, there we are. So we're going to heat up back here. And this is my guideline for the tail. So you grip it right there, pull down. Like that. So now we got a little bit of a guideline for a tail. And then we're going to use the red and make us a hummingbird. So first things we're going to start with is the actual tail. No, I don't want that. We're going to the other red. I'm going to go with the original thought. We're using the light red. I think it's going to look better. Here we go. Got half a tail done. We're going to come to the other side and do the other half. And there we go. Now this will be a beautiful red once it cures in the kiln for a little while. But for right now, it's not going to show red. But there we have the tail section all fanned out. Then we're going to come up and attach what's called a little punty rod back here. And this will allow me to finish the rest of the bird. Do the head, the wings, the hook, the tail, the beak, all that fun stuff. Not the tail. We already did the tail. All right, so we're burning off for the head right now. The most important part from here is we got to get a solid hook on here. Because of the weight of the flower, in addition to the bird itself, the hook has to be pretty durable. So we bring it down, attach that, wiggle that off. And that is a pretty solid little hook right there. Okay, that's going to hold a lot of weight. Now we're going to do the wings. Not bad for just taking a little bit of extra scrap glass and turning it into that. One, two, three, four. Okay. Then we're going to smooth that out. Got wing number 1 all done. So there is the first wing. Now these wings, tail, beak will all be very nice red later. We're going to get this all handled. Here we go. Let's get it. And wing number 2. Smooth that out. So when I say smooth it out, every time I lay one of those little things down for the wing, it creates a little ridge. So what I'm trying to do is smooth the front of the wing up so it doesn't show any ridges. It's all solid. And there is wing number 2. I want to have it smooth, not edgy. So we're going to add the beak on here. Most important part, I'm going to show you something really interesting. So if I put the beak right on the front of this bird, a lot of people put it there. It makes it look, to me, like Pinocchio. I'm going to show you the difference here. Ready? I'm going to do one on the front, and then we're going to do it the way I normally do it. Okay, so that is the beak right on the front. Okay, a lot of people say, oh, that looks really good, right? To me, it looks like freaking Pinocchio. So we're going to remove that now. I'd be lying if I didn't say it. Get it? That was funny. All right, here we go. So we're going to put it on the bottom of the head now, kind of where the jaw goes. And I'll explain why I think this is important, and you guys can give me your feedback, but see, now I put it on the bottom. And why I did that is it gives it more kind of like that bird forehead up there and room for the eyes. If I put it in the front, to me, there's no forehead or room for the eyes. And this just kind of changes that look just enough that it gives the head character to it as opposed to not. It's probably overthinking everything, but I like making sure it looks good, right? Some people would say, who cares? Okay, we're going to pop little eyeballs in here. Okay, we got eyeballs. And now we got little eyeballs on there. So here we go. We're going to assemble the final product. So we got the flower all in here, all set to go. We're going to take the bird, attach it, and hopefully it looks good. All right. We're getting a little bit of that red coming in for the body or the wings and tail. Now we got to make this connection ultra strong. Again, a lot of weight on this guy. So the way you fix it is you attach, you push in and pull back. Oh my gosh. Drunk 4029, thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to take that. Separate the tail. And then we got a little flower with the bird. Now the red will come in later. It will look really good, and then it'll hang from there. But there is a little tiny birdie sculpture coming through in a flower. And then we just have to separate it right now. It's not a big deal. Grab it through that hook and burn it off here. I don't have a really good grip on it, but there we are. So we're going to wait for all the colors to pop in. That flower is going to have a lot of color bouncing through it. That's the main thing. Now if I could just get it in the back of the kiln without burning the hell out of my hand, that'd be nice. There we go. Then we're going to finish off the ghost dog. So we got to finish this one off. So there's the one we just made in the very beginning of the show. And I'm going to park that way in the back of the kiln so the collar strikes up to its full red. Like that. So there we go. Now I do have to make sure this guy sits appropriately. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it sits good. Park that one way in the back. Okay, so y'all have a choice to make tonight. Do we do the famous, semi-famous marble skull with some crazy patterns on the back? This is the marble skull. Okay. I'll bring in the side camera. Or do we do we do a prototype with the flower that we did before? Let me put it on side camera. So this is the skull that is the marble skull. Or do we do flower? I'm going to shine a light. This blue is just striking me a lot. Look at that blue. Isn't that cool as hell? How we get that blue bouncing through there from the silver. Oh, wow. We got a lot of flower coming in. I think the flower is really kind of taking it right now. Look at that. I still like that. It looks really cool. So far from what I see, flower is a little dominant. Oh, I got to go back to normal camera. There we go. It is kind of haunting. What's up, Bayo? Yeah, the skull is silver. That is silver 100%. Yeah, well, we can do the flower and then we can do the skull after. I'm just asking what y'all want to see done first. If you hit the lottery, well, I appreciate that. I hope you hit the lottery then. So we can do the flower and then the skull after. I have no problem with that. Daisy Girl, Charlie. Ash says flower. Yeah, a flower has taken... I think the flower has the whole thing. You love your hummingbird with flower? Awesome. All right, let's do the flower, and then we'll do the skull afterwards. Mountain Glass announced they are closing permanently. Yeah, I would be. You may see a different name later. Just, I'd keep an eye on it. Okay. Let's do the flower, and then we will make the skull afterwards. Okay? We'll make it look good. I promise. We'll use the radio voice. I promise we'll make it look really good. That's my radio voice. All right, let me grab something to drink. All right, for this we need Powered by Mountain Dew. Powered by Mountain Dew. You want to see the skull last live? That is in the kiln. I can't bring that one out. Yeah, that one is in the kiln right now. That one's going to be in there till tomorrow. Okay. This is the skull from the day before. We never finished the marble, remember? So this is the skull from the day before that we did in there, the little ghost skull. I'm going to see if I can get this really close. I wonder how good this camera picks up. There. Yeah, that autofocus is okay. But yeah, that's the skull from yesterday. That autofocus was good. Not bad for a cheap webcam. All right, so we're going to make a flower. So this is the amber purple with white that we started with. And I'm going to separate it right about here. And we're just going to pull it apart. And I need to get everything in place here. I wonder if I have green in here. Nope, I don't have the right green. All right, we're going to do it out of clear. This isn't going to be a big flower. It's going to be a smaller version. because it is a prototype style, but I think this flower is a good size. If it were me, I'd have this size, personally, but... All right, so we're going to make the flower. And we're going to start off now. Get all the itches out of the way before I begin. All right, here we go. So we're going to start off. We got to start off with a little base point here. I call it the unicorn horn. But this is the initial starting point of the flower. And there are very specific reasons that you do it this particular way. Then we're going to pull it up. So this is the very beginning of the flower. This is the unicorn horn. At least that's what I call it. Unicorn horn. And here we go. We're going to start off. So about every third or fourth petal, I will bring the flower over and show it to you. Because I think it is helpful to see it kind of in stages. All right, unicorn on. Let's go. So the colors should be bouncing through here pretty soon. We should start to see some very organic colors transforming. Especially with this color combo. We'll do 2 more petals and I'll show you where we're at. And we pull this down. And one more here. I probably should have left this a little thicker. I pulled it way too thin. But that's just part of the game. Okay, so right now we have a whole lot of nothing. It just kind of looks like that. But as we start going through, it's going to start taking shape. And this is where you're going to start to see it start taking shape about the 6th to 9th set of petals. Nope, torch never messes with my eyes. Get this out of the way. It's causing me a problem. Squish. Okay, we're going to start in the very back here. Here we are. Blend. And 2 more petals, and I'll show you where we're at. There's 1. And 1 more. There we go. Yep. Trying to find the next spot. It's very easy to lose track. So now it starts taking shape. You can see we're starting to get a little more flowery pattern to it. And now we'll start filling in all those gaps and turning it into a rounded flower. I have no idea why I said rounded flower, but I did. There we go. Okay, let's get a couple more petals on here and you'll definitely see it taking shape now. We're definitely getting there. Here we go, right there. Then we warm it up. Now you can see we're starting to get that really organic flower shape going on all the way around. I'm going to use the side camera so we get a little better view. Oops. There. Now you can see the colors are starting to come in right there. All right, here we go. So the next step is we're going to keep flaring it out. Thank you so much. Let's keep it going. So this is where we really start getting a nice round process going on. Yeah, I definitely didn't make this thick enough. This flower is going to have to be small. Maybe I'll make it a pendant. Yeah, we'll make this a little pendant flower. It's not big enough for a stem, really, unless you have a small, small vase. Yeah, maybe we'll make a vase for it. Make a whole combo. I can do that too. Okay. All right, 3 more petals for sure. At least 3 more, and we'll decide what happens from it from here. Okay, there we go. All right. We're coming. It's actually starting to take shape now. I'm really liking it now. It's forming up really nice. Oops. There we go. Tapped it on a little too close. I don't know why, but it looks like there's a gap right there. I think I only need one more petal. This is down a deep rabbit hole, but hey. Rabbit holes are fine. Nope, this side. Yeah, right there. All right, last petal. Here it comes. Then we're done. I see we're all good. I'll show it to you and we'll decide the fate of the flower. Yep, right there. No second guessing. All right, I lied. 2 more. This is the rabbit hole. As you start going, you see these gaps, and then you see another gap, and you see another gap. But there's definitely 2 big old gaps in there. Yep, right there for sure. Actually, that might have done it right there. I don't know if it needs 2. That might do it. Nope, yep, there it is. 1 more. Last one right here. Promise, last one. I'm going to even set it down right where it's supposed to go so I don't lose track. Okay, that is it. I'm not even going to look. Okay, we're going to bring it out, and now we have flower power all the way around. We're going to turn it to the side. And there are the colors running through. You can see that purpley blue on the bottom. That's where it's going to get all over. Bring it a little bit closer. There we go. All right, so we got to find a path for it. So I'm going to park it in the kiln for a second. We're going to do audience participation. Do I turn it to a pendant, so we wear it as a pendant, or do we leave it on a stem, like a short stem, and maybe make a small vase for it? Or do we turn it to a hummingbird sculpture again, where we park it, make a little tiny hummingbird sculpture for it? So pendant, flower, just stem, pendant, or hummingbird? You guys decide. I'll let you all decide that. We'll give it a second while you're doing that. I'll take a short hydration drink for a second. We got stem, 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 hummingbird. We got vase, stem, hummingbird. It's getting pretty close there. I don't know which one is which. What's up, Cody? Well, there's one pendant. Well, stem is starting to take the cake here. Stem is definitely taking the lead on both channels. Bigfoot. No, can't do Bigfoot. Bigfoot could eat it, though. All right, a few more seconds here because I don't want to waste too much time. Vase, vase, stem. All right, we're going to do the vase. It's definitely winning. Vase for the win. All right, so I happen to have a piece of tubing here. We're going to use this one right here, small little vase. We're going to fume the inside of it with silver. So that'll be a fun process as well. And we will turn it to a vase. And then depending on how big the vase is, we'll cut the flower down to match that. All right, we've got to preheat this. Hopefully it doesn't explode. I hate it when it does that. All right, we're good. So right now we have to preheat the tube, and then we're going to silver fume the inside of it and get it to make some amazing color in there. And then we'll pull it into a vase, a vase. Can you see the self-portrait? I don't know if anybody wants to see the self-portrait while I'm preheating this. If you want to see my self-portrait, you got to type 1 in the chat. If you want to see the self-portrait, you got to type 1 in the chat. If you don't, that's okay too. It is a self-portrait of when I was very young and much skinnier, and yeah. Okay, we're just preheating. Okay, we got all that going. Okay, all right. Wow, we got a lot of takers on the self-portrait. Are you sure you guys want to see it? Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so we're just preheating this. Okay, I'll grab it real quick. I'll show you the self-portrait, and then we got to get this piece going. All right, there it is. It's way over here. So this is a self-portrait of me when I was very young, and I was pretty quick, a lot skinnier, okay? But you'll recognize the hair. So here it is. There is me very young, like that. See, the hair is exactly the same. Got the little eyeglasses going. And just hold it down that way. There we go. Little self-portrait. What a cute little bugger I was, right? See? See the resemblance? There we go. Yeah, that is the self-portrait. Okay, so next stop, we have to fume the inside of this guy. So we're going to taper it down, this flame. We have to use a very focused flame right now. Get the silver to shoot all the way back there. And we're going to bring it in and right there. Just up a little bit that way. So what's happening right now is this silver, there's a little silver chunk on the end of this rod, and it is superheating right now. And that silver is transferring via the flame all the way into this glass tube up here. So it's like superheating. I got to tighten this flame up. That is not going to work. There we go. So we're firing the silver all the way into the tube here. So it doesn't look like much right now. So basically we just fired silver in there. It kind of changed the color, right? We're going to kind of mess with the color a little bit as we go through. And we're just going to kind of burn it in. Okay. So now we changed that color up. So that is what silver does to the color of clear. So that changed all that chemistry of it. We're going to snip off the end and start shaping it into a vase. Bink. And here we go. So we got to close this off a little. That's going to be my punty rod. I don't want to use that. Here we go. So we got to close this off so I can start shaping the vase. And then we'll reopen it after we're done. All right, here we go. We bring it down. Like that. All right, we're good. Close all that off. All right, so this time we're just going to kind of shape this up, create a little mini vase. Need to tighten this up a little because there's a little spot right there I need to fix. Okay. So we just sealed this down a little bit. We're going to shape the middle section. Now we're going to get this color to look really cool in the end. Right now it's just kind of doing a thing. Okay, we're going to bring it up, down. All right, so we're going to heat this up in this section here, and then that'll be the bottom of the vase. I'm not doing a very ornate vase. We're just going to make it kind of chunky flat on the bottom. Chunky monkey. So next step is we're going to heat up the whole bottom section here. Okay, we got that section right there heated up. We're going to start at the very tip up here now, shrink it all back down, and I want to thicken this up. I want to have a little bit of weight to the bottom of this vase. Don't want it so tipsy. And there we go. Itches. Okay. So I need a carbon tool. Carbon tool. There we go. itches. You're probably wondering why I put that little indent in there. Well, what that does is it prevents the thing from getting all wobbly. You try and do that, it doesn't work that way. It kind of makes it unbalanced if you do it the wrong way. Okay, so this is going to be a fun part right here. This is the flare open. So we have to get it separated from here and make an opening for that flower to fit in. Let me make sure it's not locked in there very well. All right, there we go. Okay, so we heat it all up. And there we go. So we just basically opened it up like that. And then we're going to cut this top off. I hope I didn't put did I put the scissors away? I did. There we go. Cut that little doodad off. If I were a pair of, there they are. So there's a little curly Q we just cut off. Then we're going to heat it up. Very gentle. Like that, and then give it a few little ridges. I think my Wi-Fi is crashing. Yeah, I think it's crashing out. Yeah. Time. You guys getting any signal? I don't know if it is crashing out on you. Looks fine now? Okay. Yeah, on my end it still says it's off, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to just finish this flower up and see if I can go through and restart it. We got to cut this flower off for the stem. Anyway, there's the flower from earlier. I can always trim it a little bit further if I need to, but this should be good right here. I'm not going to toss that away. Yeah, it might be crashing out. I think it's starting to kind of crash out. All right, so there's the stemmed flower for the vase. We're going to pop it in there. Yeah, give me a few minutes. I think I do need to restart it. Oh, no, it says it's good now. I don't know what the hell. You hear and see me fine? Interesting. Yeah, it was crashing out on me for a minute. Everything was spinning. Yeah, it definitely has a signal problem a little bit on my end, at least. Anyway, let me see if I could let me see if I can restart all this in just a few minutes. If I don't, I might try and make it back in just a little bit, but I'm going to take a short break. It's been 2 hours. And I'm going to restart the router and everything and see if I can get it up and running a little better. Because it's still doing a spinning wheel on me a little bit. Let me restart in just a little bit. See if I can get this thing to not crash out. I'll see you in a little bit. If I don't, I'll definitely see you tomorrow.